To Sky News Tech Talk. I'm Maz and I'm the Community Product Manager. I have one of my colleagues, Paul here, I think has one of the coolest jobs here at Sky. Paul, why don't you introduce yourself, please?
Sure, yeah. My name's Paul Kane. I'm Head of Innovation for Web ADM at Sky. What that means is we basically look at new technologies, test them out, build prototypes, see what works and what doesn't work. So we're basically looking at new technology all the time.
Cool. In last episode we had Paul, I spoke to Alex Olber about citizen journalism. He had some interesting thoughts and ideas. We're both on Twitter. I use it quite a lot. I haven't used much of video microblogging sites. I have to say, either because camera shy or is not as quick. What are your thoughts on these video microblogging sites? Are there any ones out there that you've been looking at? Could you go through a list for us and tell us what you think, please?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think you're right about being a bit shy, camera shy, and all that sort of thing. Whether or not the UK audience is really interested in sharing their thoughts in the same way that they do on Twitter. In front of a camera. I mean, the ones that we've been looking at really are, well, one that's quite interesting at the moment is 12 seconds TV, which is really like Twitter because it kind of limits you to 12 seconds. They've implemented it really nicely because what they've done is restricted you to 12 seconds, so you have to be quite sort of succinct in what you say. But they've done a mobile sort of aspect of the service, which means that you can basically record your video and send it either through MMS or email.
That makes it easy.
So that's really nice and easy, and it means that you don't have to install clients and stuff like that. So that's quite cool. So quite like that. Quick.com is another one that I guess you might have seen or heard of. It's much more around live-based streaming to the web directly from your mobile, and that's really nice. I've seen quite a few things on it. One of the nicest things about it is that it continues to record, so even if you lose your network connection on your mobile phone, 3G networks and Wi-Fi networks aren't always completely reliable, but it will actually record to your device so that when you get your connection back, you can upload straight there.
And just on the quick one, is there any limitations in regards to what type of mobile you're using or what network you're on?
Yeah, so I think it's, for Quick, I think it's specifically around the Series 60 Nokia devices. So the N95 was definitely the most popular. I think we saw Robert Scoble back in February or March.
That's right,
Next Web, and he was using it quite a lot. I do know that they're working on an iPhone version, which I'm really keen to trial out.
Yeah, me too.
I haven't tried it, but they are working on that. So that's cool. So some other ones. So Flixwagon is very similar to Quick, I think, because it's focusing on that live stream. Now they do have an iPhone client, although I haven't tried it out myself, but it's definitely one I think we'll check out soon. And then Freds, which is a UK-based one. So this is
I've never heard of that one. I have to
it's much more around sort of, I think, live streaming, the aspect of combining video, your text updates, and also your sort of image updates.
Got it.
So it's pulling all of that together and it actually sort of pushes them back out onto other sites like Flickr and places where you want to share your content.
These are all free for the user, basically.
I believe so. Obviously, for the mobile stuff, you'll be using up some of your data tariff unless you're on an unlimited data tariff. But yeah, very much free. And then finally, Seismic, which was really the first one on the scene, or certainly the first one I came across. Seismic have been doing really well. It's much more based around the conversations that people want to have through the video medium. One of the cool things that they did relatively recently was implement video comments, and quite a lot of the blogs and sites that I read have the capability of doing video comments. The only bad thing about that is I think it's not really as scannable as text comments. You can't really read it, so there is this investment in time that you have to make, which is why I think 12 seconds is quite a nice one because they've limited you. But certainly Seismic I think is definitely the biggest one at the moment, and it seems to have the strongest sort of community around it, so there's a real sort of strong community that are sort of producing content on a daily basis.
Cool. I've seen the Seismic logo on TechCrunch, and we've heard about some large media who are using them as well, or planning to use, which is kind of interesting if you think about some of these items. As a geek, I think I'm allowed to say that, but it's for geeks, and then it goes to mass media like that, to large media companies recognizing the power of these tools. I'm assuming the same with Twitter. When it came, people are a bit hesitant, and I still have people looking at me like I'm a freak if I tell them what it's about, but then you have the audience out there using it. So do you think these sites, obviously Seismic has shown the potential.
Yeah.
The other ones breaking through as well into the large media. Do you think there is potential for that?
I think there is. I mean, definitely things like Quit.com with the live streaming from a citizen journalism perspective. You know, maybe on Sky News will want to take feeds directly from people who are at a scene of a big breaking story. You know, that's a really kind of powerful thing that is kind of really the most innovative thing that I've seen people using that sort of stuff for. So yeah, I mean, I think that's got big potential for sort of breaking through into the mainstream.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I think, thanks for your time.
No worries.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to try and see if I can get hold of Lord Lemur for Seismic, so he can give us a bit of more information about what they're doing and what the site is all about.
Excellent.
Thanks very much, Paul.